From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big day here live from Santa Monica at noontime with your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. Incredible great news as a $3.5 trillion recon passes a House subcommittee no less than 2 weeks ago. And it will pay viewers this channel about $15,000 from 3 clusters of checks. In this recording, we'll go over each of these clusters of checks, and they include hazard pay, money to repair the home, and then money for seniors with a word exclusive about where Medicare's new eligibility age will drop to. Then the big surprise, as an additional $25,000 is coming out to you in this fourth stimulus recon. This is breaking news, as an additional $25,000 has now been proposed for you to go buy a house. Then we go over to those IRS monthly stimulus checks and the battle on the ground to get them in there and all the deliciousness about that. Then we cut to a big shocker as student aid debt forgiveness is now happening. What is it? How much? And then the latest details as the battle to keep things in the recon stays there, but they could still change things on the back end. Meantime, the number one guy in the Senate says he's going to give a monthly stimulus check. Wow, it's a big day and the news is just starting. There's so much happening. I'm excited you're here. It's a big noontime. It's a big day. And the surf is up. Let's get to the details at noontime. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. It is a gorgeous day and the weather is beautiful here along the coast in Santa Monica, California. In this recording, we're going to go over that monthly stimulus check and everything that's at issue. But first, the $3.5 trillion recon pass and will likely pay viewers of this channel about $15,000 across 3 clusters of checks that are now passed in a subcommittee of the House. What are those clusters? Cluster number 1, 2, and 3 we will go over in this recording. Then we'll be turning to the big surprise that no one saw coming, an additional $15 billion, additional $25,000 coming out to you for money to go buy a brand new house. Then we got the addition of those monthly stimulus checks. We got the changes on the back end that they're trying to make, and does that impact us? We'll have the student loan debt forgiveness shocker. We have a new detail coming out about the COLA rise of your money. If you're on benefits, yes, COLA has been announced. We'll be cutting back to 5th stimulus, and then 3rd stimulus with additional money you can get this week, upwards of $80,000 you can get from this recording. It's a big day with a lot of breaking news, and this is noontime. So subscribe. And America's only 24-hour day, 4 days a week, 7 days a week financial news channel starts right now with LALATE. I want you part of this incredible family. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut to each of these incredible clusters of checks. A $3.5 trillion recon passing in a House subcommittee 2 weeks ago. And these 3 clusters of checks will pay you around $15,000. The first cluster, hazard pay, and $4,000 of elder care. Wow, this is wonderful. Let's go over these checks in the first cluster. First, they got hazard pay in there, but I brought in the earned income tax credit so more people are eligible for it, and then increasing the amount of money for those essential workers. $4,000 a year for elder care got in there. $4,000 a year to care for a young child. Home repairs got in there. Free money if you live in a low-income community. Wow, incredible details. Money for college students directly to the university or to the student, or the Pell Grant made tax-free. Then they got money in there for incredible items like $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks. The CTC, the child tax credit, broadened the eligibility. How much does it pay? A lot. Up to $300 every month, every year for up to 18 years that household is low income. That's $51,000. Then finally, they got money in there for bikes, trucks, and cars, all electric and all U.S. manufactured. How much? 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike, $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, personal use, a little bit more for business use, and then also truck for business use. Wow. In a second, we're going to go with the second cluster checks, but the breaking news is $25,000. Yes. There's a proposal by Maxine Waters, Sharon Brown, and Raphael Warnock to add a provision to the RECON that would give you hard cash in your hand of $25,000 for the purchase of a new home. This is a biggie. This is a biggie. It is cash up front in your hand to buy that house. Eligibility, at the moment, the only eligibility they're talking about is first-time home buyers. Wow. A competing piece of legislation currently circulating as well from Ron Wyden, 15%, but this is on the back end. So currently, I love the first one, which is on the front end. Second cluster checks that got in there are incredible, including more home repairs. Wow. Let's cut to the second cluster checks, and it starts right now, and here we go. The second cluster checks are home repairs and paid leave. Now, it's important to remember is that each of these clusters of checks add up to about at least $15,000 on average for viewers of this channel, but every check in here is for all Americans. Red states, blue states, nationwide. And it's for single individuals, married couple, SSI, SSDI. You all qualify for it. So what do they got in the second cluster of checks? Well, they got paid family leave and paid medical leave. How much does this pay? Up to $1,700 a week if you make $80,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 a year, that's $800 a week. You make $15,000 a year, that's $400 a week. Paid family leave, you have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Paid medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. And then they got money in there for child care programs, household tax credits, and then money for seniors. More about this in the third cluster, like dental, vision, and hearing. Remember, everything of this RECON is not COVID relief. And then they got money in there to weatherize your home. Yes, more money for the home. This is to weatherize your home. Definitely needed if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, always weatherize the home to make sure you keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. And whenever possible, weatherize the Senate to keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There we go. We also got checks in there for pre-kindergarten. Wow, totally free. And tuition-free community college. Definitely needed to take that class called What the World is LATE Saying? You know, there's always someone that says, I don't understand you. Now you can take the foreign language and be fluent in that foreign language called Los Angeles. It's LALATE 202. There you go. In a second, we're going to go to the third cluster, checks, and those IRS monthly stimulus checks. But what is Congress doing? Congress has a date. Nancy Pelosi and the President of the United States announced that the RECON and roads and bridges will be called for a vote by, let's say that again, by Halloween, October 31st. Now, there's always a viewer who says, so are they voting on Halloween? How do they do this? Are they going to be in costume? To which I said by Halloween. And who says they're not always in costume? Do you think that's the way Mitch usually looks? How do you know that's not, how do you know that's not actually a costume? And as to Nancy, we got the point. we go to the third cluster of checks. And the third cluster of checks that got in there are incredible. These are the present checks. I got a world exclusive about this one. And it involves my seniors. Get ready. Third cluster checks, free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for green energy, checks for seniors, like dental, vision, hearing, lowering eligibility for Medicare, and then worker checks like independent contractors. Well, here comes that world exclusive. A viewer of this channel reports to me that Bob Casey's office indicates, that Senator Bob Casey's office indicates, that the Medicare eligibility age will potentially drop to 60 from 65. Wow. Two of the checks in this third cluster I particularly like, and so is the present, because they're instant savings to you. First, cheaper prescription medication. You go to the pharmacist, for example, a headache. Hello, Mr. Pharmacist, I have a horrible migraine. Why is that, L.A.? Is it from watching Kim Kardashian host SNL? No, it's from listening to the moderate Democrats. Oh, yeah. Do you have a solution for that, Mr. Pharmacist? I do. Seats for stimulus. No, I mean another solution, like a prescription. Oh, yeah, that's $40. You take two $20 bills out of your wallet. Then when you go to refill the prescription, it may only be one $20 bill, an instant savings to your wallet. Then they're going to give free Wi-Fi across the country. Cities and counties and states will be given big money to launch their own free internet company and offer you free internet. All you have to do is say, what's the username and password? The username is lobster sauce Mikado. And the password is Pelosi $12 ice cream. There we go. In a second, we'll go over more about this 3 clusters of checks, which amounts to about $15,000 for viewers of this channel. I'm going to show you how to get this money when it becomes law. But first, let's turn to what's going off Congress and that IRS monthly stimulus check. We have a RECON, $3.5 trillion. It's a behemoth, but it ain't a bill. It's in a House subcommittee, and that House subcommittee called for it for a vote and passed it. Has not landed on the House floor as a bill yet. No less than 1 million viewers have called up Bernie Sanders' office advocating for a stimulus check provision, and no less than several thousands of viewers have been told by senators on both the House and senators and House members that they're inserting a monthly IRS stimulus check provision after they advocated. So where can they add it in there? 2 places, House and Senate. Let's go over it. First, they can add it to the RECON package before it becomes a bill. Then, when the House bill is debuted, let's say there's nothing in there. They can still amend the House bill before they call it for a final vote on the House floor. Then, the biggie, the senators. The senators vote last. In a 2-day vote-a-rama, which goes at the very end, the senators vote on whatever's sent to them from the House. Let's say the House members didn't take care of it and put it in there. The senators can add it in there. It's called a vote-a-rama, and during those 2 days, they make changes to what's ever proposed to them with amendments. Who governs the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when things are called for a vote during the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who wants to insert an IRS monthly stimulus check provision in there among the senators? Well, yeah, Bernie and everyone else, but also Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's office telling Debbie Applegate before last weekend that he will insert a monthly IRS stimulus check provision. And where can he insert it? During the 2-day vote-a-rama. This is not the only viewer who's been told that. Also, Donnie's wife being told the same message before last weekend. It's this type of advocacy that has taken notice, and the notice has occurred at Bernie Sanders' office. Senator Bernie Sanders' top aide spoke to a viewer of this channel last week, following their prior conversation detailed the week before on this channel. The top aide, this is not a staffer, this is not a secretary, this is not the person who buys the purple shirts for the TV host. This is a top aide in Sanders' office who said to the viewer the following comments. The viewer writes the following to me. Through yesterday, Sanders' office has received 1 million calls from the LALATE viewers. The advocacy is making big waves through Congress's halls. And this is the first time that many of the elected officials, senators, and House members and their staff have truly heard from the people. They now not only have a heavy heart, but a renewed sense of urgency to help out those in need and to keep up the good word. Our advocacy has been so strong and so heartfelt and so polite. And it's not just for ourselves, but also for the communities. And there you go. We have all that and more. Plus, we have the exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness coming up in the second half. We have the big new COLA raise coming for SSI and SSDI and everyone else. We have 5th stimulus. I'll be going over how that compares to the COLA raise announced minutes ago. We have 3rd stimulus. We also have whether items are in the RECON, staying in there, how items are added, all those incredible details and more. We got a lot coming up in the second half of this video. Stay with me as a big noontime heats up. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now at noontime, live from Santa Monica with your fourth stimulus check update continuing at noontime. A new poll report says the president's popularity rating is falling because people do not know what's in the recon. In the second half of this video, I'll be going over some of your questions I saw during the commercial break where people are asking, what's in the recon? I'll explain the details and those and more. We'll be going over all these three clusters of checks that are in this recon that pay viewers of this channel about $15,000. Then we'll be going over how they're going to make changes to the recon and where they make those changes to. We go back over those monthly IRS stimulus checks and more about that. Then we cut to student loan debt forgiveness. Then we got a lot coming up with the excitement of a third stimulus still paying out big sums of money right today. Fifth stimulus coming out later this fall. This is for my SSI and SSDI reform. And then more details across the board like student loan debt forgiveness. Boy, it's a big noontime and it's starting right now. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this family. No one is covering the breadth of this coverage anywhere, and this is why the president's popularity ratings are falling. No one knows what's in the recon, and in this video, I'm going to show you what's in the recon. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut to the details and the big surprise across the board. A new poll report out today and yesterday says that the president's popularity ratings are falling dramatically because no one knows what's in the recon. Democratic strategist Simon Rosenberg and another person named Longwell says the president's decline is alarming, it's serious, because no one knows what's in the recon. During the commercial break, one viewer said, I heard that the fourth stimulus recon is only for children. Wrong. I heard that the fourth stimulus check is only for people with families. Wrong. That's the problem that the president's having, is that there is literally no coverage of it except here. In this recording, I'm going to go over everything of this recon. First, when we go back to those monthly IRS stimulus checks, this is for everyone, $75,000 or less. Individual, married couple, $150,000 or less, double it, a family of four, and if you're on SSI and SSDI. It's a provision they're trying to add to the fourth stimulus reconciliation package at the moment. Let's go more back over that incredible message from Bernie Sanders' office. Sanders' office says that you've made incredible progress and history because they've never seen anything like this. What's going on? This week, lobbyists are hitting down the doors in Congress to get things added to the recon. And guess who they're competing against? Us. We're pushing to get those monthly IRS stimulus checks in there as well. Sanders' office has received 1 million phone calls for the inclusion of those monthly stimulus checks, with you advocating very vigorously. And one of the viewers who I featured early in this video, she's actually in the live chat right now. She is also one of the viewers who advocated. What's important to understand is that the advocacy starts here and doesn't end here. There is a new report out by an individual by the name of Lisa Rice, CEO of the National Housing Fair Housing Alliance, that says now all these coalitions of industry groups are beating down on the door of the White House to make sure their provision is in the recon. Sound familiar? It sounds just like us. And we started this 8 weeks ago. When I said pick up the phone and advocate for the inclusion of that IRS stimulus check, WR did. He picked up the phone and he called, said to Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, advocating for the inclusion of that monthly stimulus check. And Coons' office said, yes, I'll insert it. 3 weeks ago, I started to show you a lot of exclusives on this channel. Number one, I told you that the recon would be drafted on the House side in a subcommittee first. It was. And that was Sheila Jackson, number 2 in the Progressive Caucus. I told you the House subcommittee would vote first. They did. That's what passed 3 weeks ago in that House subcommittee with Jackson in the middle of the night on Saturday night. And number 3, I told you Bernie was important in the equation. He is. Why? Because Bernie Sanders is part of the equation to get it out the door. 3 weeks ago, he said, unlike prior Senate budget chairman, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm doing a recon bill. What does that mean? He wants to hear from you. He wants you to advocate to him why you need it. I said, pick up the phone and advocate to Bernie Sanders. And 3 weeks ago, 3 of you did. Brother Joshua, Lynn Glenn, and Margaret did. And what did Sanders' office say? It's going in there. Let's go over what advocacy is. Let's go over what advocacy isn't. Advocacy involves telling why you need something. Just like Rice talked about those lobbyists telling Congress what they need in there, you're advocating for that inclusion of that money as well. Advocacy involves a series of sentences, all that end with periods, not with question marks. And that advocacy involves telling your particular story. It might be financial, it may be medical, it may be personal. I need it because I got a divorce. I need it because I broke my leg. This is what's going on with my business. This is what's going on in my town. This is going on with my son's daughter's husband. This is what I got to tell you about what's happening with my community, my church, and this is why I need it. Sanders' office has been so impressed, they reported to the viewer last week, because you have brought incredible narration to why you need the money. That's what I told you to do. I said, they're not going to know about your town. They may never have heard about it or visited, but they can certainly understand your story. And when you bring that story very loud and clear, they will talk about it. That's what Sanders' office says. They have never seen anything like this. And all the other Sanders' offices are saying the same thing, that your advocacy has been so profound and so in-depth, because usually all they hear from are lobbyists, professionally hired to lobby for different coalitions. Now let's go over what's not advocacy. What's not advocacy? Asking questions, speaking with just questions in the sentence. Is there going to be a stimulus check? When is the stimulus check? Will it be in the bill? Is there a bill? How much is it? Who's going to get it? When is it going to get it? When is it going to go out? When is the vote? When is the date? That doesn't get anyone anything but a flat no, because there is no bill yet. They haven't finished the bill. This is all situation flux. They want to hear you advocating, and what that is, asking all questions, is Dora the Check Explorer. We don't do this here. We don't do that here. Let's go back to that incredible advocacy that Brother Joshua did, and boy, was it good. He picked up the phone and advocated for you, his family, his community, his church. And Sanders' office said yes. $1,000 to $1,300, 3 to 6 months. But Sanders' office said he needs to hear from you. And at that point, I said, pick up the phone, because Sanders' office says he wants you to advocate to Sanders. And boy, did you ever. We're going to see a series of screen grabs on this channel right now from either the live chat or from private messages, social media. And we're going to show you Donnie to start. You met Donnie's wife just a second ago. Here's Donnie and what he wrote. I called Bernie Sanders' office, and secretary said they're doing a forced stimulus check, and this is what I need. I said my city needs it. I need it to progress. I need it for my water. I need it for everything. And they said they're going to do it. Hurricane Tina picked up the phone and advocated to Sanders' office, and they said they're inserting it in there. Here's what Carolyn writes. I picked up the phone, I advocated. I said people are losing their homes here and what they got, and they agreed, and Bernie's office said they're doing a forced stimmy. And there's Yaya, who picked up the phone and advocated to Ron Wyden's office, and they said yes, they're doing it, plus SS200. At that point, I told viewers that when you tell your story, you got to tell it as many places as you can tell it. Don't just tell one office, tell as many offices. And that's what Will did. He picked up the phone and called Chuck, Liz, and Bernie. And this is what Will wrote in his message on the channel. I called Bernie, Chuck, and Liz, and all 3 of their secretaries confirmed a forced stimulus check. I told them my situation and how I would make a big difference if I got that money. And Liz Warren said they're doing it. $1,400 to $2,000 is what she wants, 6 to 12 months. Here's Lorica. She got Bob Casey's office on the phone, Senator Bob Casey. He said they're near finished negotiating the inclusion, and that is what viewers have gotten. 1 million calls into Sanders' office, and thousands of viewers confirming to viewers on this channel that they were told a stimulus check provision is being included. And they were told that by Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden. Also told by Omar, Jalapal, and Pelosi's office in the case of Mark. Mark picked up the phone, called Pelosi's office, and Pelosi's office, after he advocated, said she will be adding a monthly stimulus check provision, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. And the messages keep on coming in as Donnie's wife, 2 weeks ago, picked up the phone and called Chuck Schumer's office, and Debbie called Schumer, Sanders, and Warren, and was told by all there will be a fourth stimmy in there as well. That is what advocacy does, but is this recon a done deal? No, because we got a package, not a bill, and guess what? There's a lot of movement on what's in the package, what's not in the package. As you just saw that quote from Rice, she said everyone's trying to push things to put stuff into the recon. So how about the stuff that's currently in that recon, like those 3 clusters I just detailed for you? Are the 3 clusters totally safe? Maxine Waters thinks not. She's a progressive, and she has $300 billion of rent already in the 3 clusters. She wrote a letter on Friday saying, don't touch it, don't take it out, and don't water it down. $300 billion is a lot because on the third stimulus, there was only $40 billion for rent. She has $300 billion in there. So where are they going with these potential modifications of the recon? They're at $3.5 trillion. They have to get down somewhere into the $2 trillion range, and they have certain things at issue. Number one, the progressives all last week said everything that's in there is staying in there. There will be no reduction of any program, and that we can still add money in there. Next, that the only changes will be on duration, and that we can change the tax part on the back end. Let me explain those details of that right now, and it starts with the promises. So the progressives all last week said, if a program's in there, it's staying in there. If it's in there, it's not getting watered down. For example, elder care $4,000, they're saying it's staying in there, not going to get taken out, and it's not going to get watered down to like $100 from $4,000. So where can they make the changes? 2 ways, duration and also taxes. Duration, I had said at the early part of last week, is a way to bring the recon from $3.5 trillion down to the 2s, but not with changing anything of your money. And guess who said that a few days later? Jalapa. How did I get that right? Just not randomly, because Bernie said this in July. Bernie in July, before we had a recon, went into the Senate meeting with the Senate Democrats saying, I want to do a recon. Oh, you do, Bernie? How much money you want for the recon? $7 trillion. We're not doing $7 trillion, Bernie. No. Okay, well, let's do $3.5 trillion. I'll just shorten the duration of the programs. Done deal. It became recon procedural. It became law. Call for a vote in the House, call for a vote in the Senate. Done. So what did he do? He shortened the duration of how long the programs run. Let me show you an example of what happened then and what could be going on now. And I'm going to use numbers in general. This is not exactly how it worked, but I'm just using you examples of numbers. Bernie may have gone into those meetings asking for $7 trillion with 20-year programs, for example. I want $4,000 of elder care every year for a 20-year program, meaning that every year you're eligible, you get $4,000 a year for 20 years. They said, no, we're not doing $7 trillion. Okay, we'll do the program and all the other programs for half the amount of time, 10 years. That suddenly makes it a $3.5 trillion bill, not $7 trillion. But you still get $4,000 a year, just over 10 years instead of over 20 years. Pretty simple? Yeah, pretty simple. So now, how can they do it again? You know exactly the answer. Cut that in half again. Do it for 5 years instead of 10 years. And keep the programs exactly how they are. $4,000 every year, elder care, but instead of a 10-year program, a 5-year program. And if every program went from 10 years to 5 years, guess what happens to the package? From 3.5 to 1.7. Bingo! That's a number every moderate Democrat will do. Done. Very simple. Another way they're trying to propose to do this is changing the tax back up. So they're paying for the recon by raising corporate taxes and raising billionaires' wealth tax. They can reduce this a little bit, but the concern is if they don't raise them as much, then the loopholes, the tax loopholes they're trying to close, may still stay open. All right, there you go. So where is Congress and what is Congress doing? Congress is in their offices all week long, not on the House floor, not on the Senate floor, but they're working on the recon. With about 20 days at most to go, they're working on all the provisions. One, adding provisions in there, like the $25,000 for purchasing a new home, like those monthly IRS stimulus checks, protecting what's already in the recon, like Maxine Waters, saying, don't touch my $300 billion, leave it alone, don't water it down either. And A lot of different groups advocating for a lot of different things. But with the 3 clusters in there so far, valued at about $15,000 a person for this channel. Now, let's turn over to student loan debt forgiveness. Big surprise. Came out of nowhere. More student loan debt has now been forgiven again. The President of the United States first initially forgave some student loan debt a few weeks ago for those individuals who became disabled after college. Now the President has now forgiven student loan debt for 2 types of people. People who go into work in nonprofits for over 10 years after college, or people who go to work for a local city, county, or state or federal government for over 10 years. Your debts are now forgiven. Huge, huge. That's a lot of people. Now the President is also proposing to forgive everyone's debts up to $10,000. Yes, the Democrat coalition is still trying to push for $50,000. Then COLA, big surprise, and sort of a laugh about this one. COLA's going up, and that means your benefits are going up. Remember over the last few weeks, months, where I said to you, the benchmark for that SSI and SSDI reform under fifth stimulus will be inflation. I'm looking at it 5%. Guess what they announced COLA is looking at being for later this year? 5%. Everyone's benefits are still tied to COLA until they pass SSI and SSDI reform. But that's a big lift for now, and that's exactly the number that I was saying would be the benchmark for the SSI and SSDI reform. Let's go over that right now. Under this fifth stimulus, which they're hoping to get done by the end of this year, they're going to try to raise your benefits up one time first. This is you, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits. Then they want to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. All throughout the summer, all throughout this early fall, I said that inflation was going to go to about 5% by December. At the time, everyone was saying 2%, 1%, 2%, 3%. I was on the high end. Now it looks like I might be on the low end because now they're saying that inflation may go even higher and that it's not going to be temporary. And ironically, I said, hey, this is really good because once your benefits go up, your benefits never go down. Let's do the analysis and compare it against the COLA. First, they'll raise your benefits up under this fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply the new benchmark. And if inflation is 5%, you'll go up another 5%, not next year, but lifetime. But guess what's happening? They're looking at COLA with the current inflation right now. And because the inflation is running so hot or so high, your COLA will be about a 5% lift before we even get to SSI reform, which is incredibly great news. So they're looking at about a 5% lift of your benefits under the current system of COLA before they roll it into the new system with inflation. Wow. Then they're going to move under this SSI and SSDI reform. The asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law, that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some stimulus checks and some muddled blue. No, it's not muddled. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear loss of benefits. That's fifth stimulus. That's the latest package coming out later this fall. But let's turn now to third stimulus, which is money for you today. Last week and the week before, I told you about additional $13 billion going out to your city, counties, and states for rent across the country, red, blue, rich, and poor states, and to read that Treasury statement in the newsletter before you make the call so you know what you're asking for. And that's what Prina did. And last week, this is what Prina did. Oh, I just lost her. Okay. I had her there. I had a graphic for Prina, and I just killed it. All right. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what Prina did. She said, I heard your message, and I reached out to the city of Austin, telling them about that money. They said yes. She applied, and now she's getting 8 months of rent into next year, $6,000. So get a pen and paper ready, and I'm going to get that and a cell phone, and I'm going to get that big money for you right now. We can get some rent. We can get some utilities. We can get some food, clothing, appliances, mortgage assistance, and more. And it starts right now. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Next, get ready for those keywords. It helps people get approved. And then get ready for those nonprofits. They're coming up as well. All right, here are the 6 places you're going to reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. And your state hall and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. How much money in rent can you get? Here you go. Upwards of $20,000 to $27,000 a month ago, but now viewers like Jen getting over $40,000. Next, I want you to get utilities. Reach out to all utility companies, and guess what? How much are these going for now? Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 of utilities. Yes, so if you got 5, reach out to all 5. Next, Snap. Snap is a big success. Viewers have gotten fortunes from this channel from Snap. What is Snap? It is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? This is what it was paying about a month ago. Now viewers of this channel are getting upwards of $26,000 a year. Why? Because everyone's benefits are being raised up a lifetime automatically, an average of 25% starting this month. This includes Mark's brother-in-law, who's going from $21,000 to $25,000. All right, get that pen and paper ready because we're going to go over now the nonprofits as well. First, if you have had an eligibility issue with any of the items from the federal government, then reach out to the nonprofits because the 5 nonprofits generally do the same items from third stimulus, just with different eligibility. Here they are: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, it's important to remember that the nonprofits also pay for items third stimulus never paid for. For example, the nonprofits also often help for homeless people into shelters, help with clothing, help sometimes with providing small appliances. Several of you on this channel have gotten small furnaces, portable electric heaters, and refrigerators, even windows fixed. And sometimes they just pay for things that I would never even thought that they pay for. You'd be surprised. Here again are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Lean also on Salvation Army. They're doing holiday gifts now in October. Don't wait till December. They do it right now. Next, let's turn to the unemployment benefits. Yes, they're coming back from your state due to overpayment of computer error. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Then next, the refund check from the IRS of 2020 taxes you paid on unemployment benefits, the 2020 taxes you paid on those unemployment benefits. Average payment is $1,200 to $2,000. Let's get ready to get some of that money. Where's it landing? By direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. You can track it at irs.gov. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Become a member. The link is in the video. Members daily are delivered the newsletter from me to them via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is also free. And that newsletter comes out 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday approximately, and features the big money you can get under first, second, and third stimulus. As we look at fourth stimulus and we look at these 3 clusters, it looks like it will pay viewers of this channel about $15,000. That's great. When third stimulus became a law, and I looked at third stimulus earlier this year, I said, it looks like I can get you about $15,000 from that as well. I was wrong. I was able to get the average viewer about $40,000 from third stimulus. Yeah, you may have heard about a $14 third stimulus check, but the big money was the other items on the third stimulus, just like these big items under fourth stimulus. What I want you to do is open that newsletter and try to get as much money as you can. We had 3 viewers a few weeks ago, like Johnny, who started the week at 0. By the middle of the week, 3 viewers had 40,000, like Johnny. But Johnny continued to the weekend and got 7 items, 80,000. Mark, 50,000. Lorraine, 110,000. Viewers are constantly getting 40, 50, 80, 90, $100,000 from third stimulus from this channel because the money is there. There's a reason why the president's popularity ratings are falling, says the new poll, because people don't know what is in these packages. They don't know it. Did anyone else mention to you this $25,000 to purchase a new house? No. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Did anyone else mention to you the drop of the Medicare eligibility age? No. $4,000 of care for the elderly? No. These are big sums of money, and if you don't know about them, you wouldn't know to get them. That's why the membership newsletter is very important. There have been a couple of viewers in the last 24 hours since the $25,000 news broke that said, how do I get that money? That's what's going to be covered in the newsletter. As soon as it becomes law, I'm going to show each of you how to get these big sums of money. Finally, let's go into the big recap as we go into a noontime. with so much happening across the board. Number one, what's important to remember is that we have this massive recon. It's in the House subcommittee, but it ain't a bill yet. It ain't a bill yet. Two opportunities across the board, House and Senate. They can modify that on the House. They can modify it in the Senate during the Senate vote-a-rama. They can add stuff in there. And then they can also protect what's in there. We have a tow truck and we have a tow hitch. The tow truck, your recon procedural, passed, became law. House and Senate voted on it, became law. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. The tow truck went back to pick up the tow hitch, your recon substantive, passed in a subcommittee, but not over the finish line because it's not law yet. Everyone is still trying to add stuff in there. And guess what? On that highway to the finish line, there's other cards getting in there as well. They're the lobbyists trying to push for their other items they want to add in the recon, as Rice says. And then we have a lot of people who have stuff in the recon, like Maxine Waters, worried their provisions may get removed. Get in that tow truck, get in that tow truck, and get that tow truck over the finish line. Put yourself on the driver's seat. Make 3 promises yourself for the day. 1, try to get as much money as you can from third stimulus as far into 2022 as possible. If you got money before, get more money. If you got money from one source, get it from another source. Get the money into 2022 because it's there. Number 2, advocate. Number 3, remember that the nonprofits are doing quick turnaround times at the moment because it's not that cold yet. St. Vincent de Paul and United Ways have been getting big praise from this viewers' channel for quick turnaround times on rent. But as we get to December and it gets cold outside, they get flooded with a lot of calls. So make the call right now and get as much money as you can. Meantime, join me later today with a whole slate of programming. Stay on this video, will automatically take you to the 1 o'clock afternoon's LALATE show coming up next. Then we have a big new afternoon show at 3 o'clock. They'll go more over that $25,000, the student loan debt forgiveness, and the breaking news with the Senate vote now coming in the next few days. Then at 5 o'clock is Evening's LALATE, which explores more about this incredible money in this recon, for stimulus recon, that is set to pay you about $15,000 to this channel from the federal government. And then we go into our new hit show, Evening's Countdown at 6 o'clock, Street and Stimulus at 7, and Sirloin at 8. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, I want you part of this incredible family. Details are all here on this channel, showing you how to get big sums of money every single day. I want you to go in the weekend by getting big money from this channel. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, so you get that newsletter that comes out daily from this channel. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful noontime, and stay with LA for more.